Hello students. So in the last 2-3 classes we have read about Japan and Brazil through a traveler's eye. So hope you have read the lesson once again. Now let us discuss some answers with regard to Japan and Brazil through a traveler's eye. So as usual, the task for you to complete is to write answers for comprehension 1, because comprehension 1 are all 1 mark answers. You need to answer them in one word, one phrase, or at the most one sentence. So read the lesson carefully, answer the questions. If there are any multiple choice questions in comprehension 1, then that means you have to choose the correct one and rewrite that answer below the question. So the task for you is to find answers and write them down in your notebook for comprehension 1. Now what I am going to discuss is comprehension 2. So the first question in comprehension 2 is, why is bowing in Japan a complicated process? So these are some points what you have to write. The Japanese have a complicated hierarchy in bowing. Who bows to whom, how deeply, and for how long is a bit complicated. While bowing, if one does not clasp the hands, it shows disrespect, and at times clasping hands may be wrong. So, the Japanese have some conditions regarding bowing as to whom to bow, how to bow, and how long one has to bow, etc. In the family, wife bows to her husband, children bow to their father, younger ones bow to their elders, and above all, the process of bowing demands the sisters to bow down to all the brothers irrespective of their age. So that is why bowing in Japan is a complicated process, the author says. Now, question number 2. Why does bowing, a natural practice in Japanese culture, look so quaint and puzzling to the author? The skill of bowing for the Japanese is an art, and the author thinks that it is in their genes. Bowing compared to the Western practice of handshaking is a quaint practice. Quaint means old fashioned. So, years, decades, and ancestrally they have been following this practice of bowing down. Like in other foreign countries, we see people shaking hands, and as we discussed while we read the lesson, in our Indian culture we join our palms facing each other, join our palms together in the form of namaste. So that is our way of showing respect. The author feels puzzled because of the complications involved in it, and consoles himself that bowing is a discipline, mannerism, and an art of the Japanese. So, you and I, who are not Japanese born, will find it very complicated and difficult to understand the mannerism, the practice of bowing. Whom to bow, how much to bow, for how long to bow. So, all these are complicated things, he says. That is why the author feels puzzled. He feels strange when the conductor enters the coach, which appears like a theatrical scene, bowing ceremoniously both the sides and then check the tickets. So the conductor entering the coach of the train, bowing on the left and bowing on the right side and then checking the tickets is quite strange, the author feels. The Japanese even employ bowing girls to bow deeply and differentially to all and sundry. So we read in the lesson, the author has written that there are girls who are employed specifically for the job of bowing to the customers who are coming to the mall, to the shop. So their work is only to bow down and greet the people who are coming to that spot. They are paid for that. So that is why he says. So the author feels puzzled and says that bowing is a natural practice in the Japanese culture. So it is quite but a natural and old practice in the Japanese culture, he says. Do you think the author is finding fault with or making fun of the culture of bowing in Japanese and speeding cars in Brazil? So, the way the lesson has been written, the extract, the travelogue has been written using funny phrases and a sense of humor every here and there. Like we read a humorous point where the author says, even the deers in Japan have the practice of bowing to the person before snatching away the food packet. So, how can that be possible? So, it is the exaggeration of what the author has seen. That is why now the question is a practical based question, application question. Do you think, means it is your own personal opinion after reading the lesson? You have to answer whether the author is finding fault with these practices or making fun of the culture of bowing in Japan and the culture of speeding cars in Brazil. So, what do you personally think? You can write your own answer saying, substantiating your statement, whether you agree with what the author is writing, how he is writing, or you can express your views in your own words. Absolutely, it is all right. What I am discussing is our point of view, what I think. Though the author is not seriously making fun or finding fault with bowing in Japan and speeding cars in Brazil, but he is just stating what he saw in Japan and Brazil. So, what I feel is he has just noted down the fact, what all he has seen in Japan about bowing and about eating soup and the speeding cars in Brazil. So, when he had been there with his own eyes, what he has witnessed, what he has observed, he has put it up like that for us. But that writing of his, he has just given a humorous touch. So, He is seriously not making fun of it, or he is not even finding fault with it. The knowledge is useful to the outside world so that they are prepared in advance about what to expect when they go to Japan and Brazil. It is just that the factual information that the author has noted in his travelogue is with the idea of making people known as to what can you expect when you travel to these two countries. So that is why he has written it for us. He makes fun in a light-hearted manner of the conductors who bow in both the directions and then start checking the tickets. So it looks funny for us, but that is their practice. So both the things are correct. It is funny for us, so it is put up in a humorous way, but that is what they practice. So that is a fact. He certainly makes fun of the deer, which he feels bowed deeply to him before snatching the food bag from his hand. So, as I told you, definitely the factual information has been exaggerated a little bit to the extent that even deers know to bow, rather, bow to you before snatching away the food bag from you. With regard to finding fault and making fun of the speeding cars in Brazil, the author does both. So, he does both is finding fault also and making fun also. He does joke about the way the drivers target the pedestrians and how hazardous the pedestrian's life can be. So it is both the fact as well as in a joking manner. So both he finds fault also. How they speed up in Brazil and how they don't allow pedestrians to walk peacefully on the roads. He also finds fault with the way the drivers compete with each other. Though the author is not finding faults, still he is narrating the events along with the faults in a humorous way. Actually, he has not been there to find faults. But what he saw there, he feels that they are faulty somewhere, and so those faults are put up in his travelogue in a comic way, in a humorous way. So, this is all about comprehension 2. In the next class, we will take up question answers from comprehension 3 of the same lesson, Japan and Brazil through a traveler's eye. Till then, don't forget to do your task. The assignment you can say that I have given to you. What is the assignment given to you? Yes, that is to find answers for comprehension 1 and write them down in your notebooks. So, see you in the next class. Till then, keep reading the notes, keep reading the lesson. Take very good care of yourselves. Bye.